Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Victor Planning Board. What? Oh, sorry. Rookie. That's it.
She'll give you that.
We're good? Okay. So, once again, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Town of Victor Planning Board meeting on April the 8th, 2025. Let's start with a Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to point out that there's emergency exits on both sides of the room. Restrooms are out the back door and to your left. If you would please be sure to sign the attendance sheet at the back of the meeting room, even if you're a developer and you're presenting tonight. There's business cards at the back table next to the sign-in sheet to take with you. I've got the email address and the phone numbers for the planning department. Also on the back table is a copy of the resolutions that will be read tonight, along with the agenda. If you would please turn off or silence your cell phones, and if you need to, please take all conversations out into the hallway. Thank you. We have a number of meeting minutes to approve. I believe there are 6 of them. Has everybody on the board had a chance to take a look? Any comments, observations?
I think I was present for the one last meeting.
All right, so then motion to approve.
I'll move.
Al?
Second.
Ernie seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
No, that'd be 4-0. And then Dave Condon is not with us tonight, so Keith, if you'd give us an update on what's going on next time.
Good evening, Keith Maynard, Project Manager for the Town of Victor. So your next meeting is Tuesday, April 17th at April 22nd at 7 p.m. New on the agenda will be the Colette Berm site plan, which is at 852 Brownsville Road. Applicant is requesting approval to construct a 10-foot high earthen berm to combat noise and visual pollution emanating from traffic on I-90. The next one is the Fantuzzo Garage at 7700 Pine Tree Drive. Applicant is requesting approval to construct a 1,040 square foot garage with a height of 27 foot 11 inches. And then for sure we know Timberview Estate Subdivision will be back next time, plus any carryovers from tonight.
Thank you.
Any questions? All right,
Good.
thank you guys.
Thanks, Keith. Okay. So the first item on the agenda is PMD South Building Addition. This is a public hearing. This is item number 07-SP 2025 for property located at 727 Raleigh Road. The owner is Raleigh Real Estate Properties, LLC. Applicant's requesting approval to construct a 19,870 square foot addition to the south side of the existing building. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Steve Schultz, MRB, here with Tim Lochner of PMD. We were here back in January, obviously, for the site plan modification for the East Addition, which was constructed about 2 years ago. That's the last time we were here for an official building expansion. As you said, we're looking to expand to 19,870 square feet on the south side of the building. Property is zoned commercial light industrial, and it's in the 96-251 overlay district. The project does meet the zoning requirements as established, such as setbacks and building height, et cetera. The addition's roughly 240 by 90, has a maximum roof height of 28 feet above finished floor. We'll have an at-grade drive-in door and recessed loading dock at the southwest corner. The materials for the building all match what's there now. It's architectural metal siding panels, standing seam metal roof, and lower level brick and block exterior. These were reviewed by Labella, and we have a positive review letter from the architectural consultant. There will be a precast concrete block retaining wall constructed on the southeast corner to allow for more usable space to construct the addition and the drive lane around the addition. The wall will be a stone-strong type precast concrete block. It would look something like this, if you can see it. It's very common. Lakeland's manufactures them, and I know one of Wes's comments relates to the wall design. It's going to be designed by Lakeland's, by a New York State licensed engineer, and submitted to the town for a building permit review. The access to the site is by 2 curb cuts off Rowley Road. Those will stay the same. The addition will eliminate the little bit of south side parking, the stormwater basin on the south side, and will be essentially replacing the stormwater detention by increasing the size of the one in the front of the building to make up for the loss. That's a requirement of the DEC stormwater permit. If you eliminate one, you have to kind of compensate and make up for it. We have 148 parking spaces on site now with the addition constructed. Code requires 323 based upon building square footage. Tim doesn't feel he needs those. He knows how many employees he has. He has a work-from-home program, so he has plenty of parking for his employees despite being less than what the code would require by building square footage. So he's comfortable with what he has and thinks that it'll work fine. The whole point of the addition is for his assembly of robotic assembly line equipment. So it's not really adding employees, it's just adding space to expand his lines in the building. We will have a soil disturbance over an acre for the project, so we did prepare a stormwater pollution prevention plan. Wes has reviewed it and made some comments, which we'll address. We also received comments from town staff, and I was able to address most of those and resubmitted late this afternoon. So the plan up here, I'm sure, doesn't reflect that, but we have addressed the town staff comments, including, I think, the most significant one would be adding a hydrant to the back of the building per the fire marshal. And that's about it.
Ernie, do you have any questions?
I just have one question. You may not be in this space forever. What happens if somebody has more employees than you do about the parking?
I'll be there forever.
Yeah. He wants to go more south if he can in the future.
Good space to expand?
Yes.
Okay. My only concern, nothing else.
Scott?
The only question I had is, with respect to your retaining wall in the corner of the building over there, is it just passenger vehicles that go around the building? Is it tractor trailers as well?
No plans for tractor trailers. We did size it for a fire truck.
Oh, you
That
did?
was sent by, Robert Graham sent me the template of the town fire truck. That's why you'll see on the back, it kind of loops out a little further. And that's to provide the turning radius for a fire truck.
Yeah, I guess.
But no tractor trailers are planned back there.
Okay. Yeah, it looks tight. Okay, thank you.
Al?
Yeah, so the only 2 items I had was the concern about the ensuring the retaining wall was properly engineered, so you addressed that one. And then the only other item was the ramp leading up to the floor level loading door, whether or not it should have some type of guardrail or something. I mean, I can kind of see someone backing up there and potentially going right over the edge of that ramp. So it just might be a good idea to take a look at that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that was in Wes's letter also. I think they're just
That's all I had.
talking about here, Tim, and that little retaining wall between the drive, so we could put some sort of barrier on there or build the wall up a little higher or something like that.
And we've got a comment letter from Labella dated today.
Yep, yep.
Wes, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, absolutely. The applicant's design professionals already commented on the segmented block retaining wall. I don't think we would have a problem, having the town building department review that, and if they choose to refer it to Labella, we'd be happy to review that for them, the more particular details. As part of the retaining wall in the project, do you know, is there going to be any amount of soil or earth that's going to be removed from the site? And if so, would you be able to quantify that for the board?
Yeah, I can do that before the next time, or I could put it in the response to your letter, so you'll have it before the next
Yeah, that'd be
meeting.
fine.
It's really, there's also the detention in the front that gets excavated out.
Yep.
But some soil will be used, obviously, to fill in the existing detention behind the building.
Yeah,
But I think
okay.
there will be a net export of soil, because we are cutting into the bank in the back.
Okay.
With the retaining wall.
Okay, very good. Al did touch on the loading dock ramp and a potential railing. Maybe we could call that out on the plans if that's what you intend to do. And then we do have several comments that are more technical in detail related to stormwater, and water quality calculations, and I'm sure MRB Group will respond in writing and any modification to necessary documents. That'll be fine. Yeah, looks like there's going to be maybe some steep slopes, 3 horizontal to 1 vertical. Not a problem, I don't think. Is there any like a erosion control mat or seating mat that's going to be provided on those slopes?
Yeah, I think we have that on the plan now. It's above the retaining wall. I think it's about 2.5 to 3 on 1.
Okay.
I just wanted to cut that down a little more. I mean, it's flatter than a lot of that slope is now, and that most of that slope holds okay.
Okay.
It's just the very, very steep parts that aren't great.
Got it.
So that allowed us to keep the wall a little bit shorter in height,
Okay,
so
yeah, not a problem.
saves some cost on the wall.
And then with the architectural comments, Mark Kukufka, I think he mentioned that really the architecture is fairly consistent with what's there today, so nothing more than that.
Okay. Very good. This is a public hearing. Does anybody from the public have anything, comments, observations? Is it appropriate to close the public hearing?
Anybody online?
So,
I'll move.
Al moves. Didn't hear a second.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then this is at the county, so.
Yeah, I think it's tomorrow. I think it goes
I
tomorrow
believe so,
night.
yes, sir.
I wish they rearranged them so the county was the day before, but
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So this
That's
will be
okay.
for the next time then?
Yep, we'll roll it over to the next meeting.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yes, thank you very much.
Me too.
The next item on the agenda then is the Bell Minor Subdivision, item 03-MS-2025, for property located at 364 Fisher Road, and the owner is Roger Bell. The applicant is requesting approval to subdivide a 6.395 acre parcel into 2 lots. Lot 1 consists of the existing house on 3.233 acres, and Lot 2 is proposing to construct a new single-family house on 3.162 acres. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Roger Bell, this is my wife Jen.
Good evening. Tell us what you're up to.
Well, we're going to build us a new house. We own the house next door, and we're going to expand, get a little bigger, and go next door, so,
Okay.
plan. I saw some comments that come in from Labella.
Oh, sure,
I
if
had
you'd like
those
to speak
addressed.
to them, that'd be great.
Well, we had them, we had Green Land Serving address them already. I don't know if I can hand them to anyone, or if they've seen them.
I think they have them.
Did they get them today?
Yeah, I was able to
Oh, okay.
cut them off. They're in the back of your packets with a revised site plan.
I'm looking at, oh, there's the Bella.
It's this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I can go over the Labella comments if you want.
Sure, that'd be great.
So our comments were dated April 3rd, and I don't really feel that we had any showstoppers, just some things to touch up. calling out the separation distance for the septic system, a detail on the septic trench profile. There are a couple of retaining walls. They don't appear to be too tall. Could you talk about the retaining walls?
Just from the back corner goes to the walkout.
Yeah.
We're just trying to maintain anything that might slope down into the back. So we're thinking just like a landscape boulder.
Okay.
In that sense, they're not going to be, they shouldn't be over the 2-foot mark. So
Okay. Like a landscape wall?
Yeah,
Okay.
just like a landscape type decorative wall.
Let's see, the property is in a residential A overlay district. That asks them to add that note to the map. Minimum lot size, the scale, that's just cleaning up late data acreage. Okay, maybe the only other substantive item we had on there was number 9, the driveway detail. So there was a driveway detail on the plans. We suggested that maybe they add the town's standard detail. It requires a little bit of a different foundation course for stone, and the foundation width of the driveway would be 14 feet in width with a 12-foot wide asphalt if they choose asphalt, rather than having just 12 feet of stone and 12 feet, 12 feet of stone, 12 feet of asphalt. I think that's what it was. Yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of substance.
So I'm looking at a response from Green Land Surveyors. Have you seen
Okay.
that?
I did see it come in. I didn't have a chance to review it, however.
It seems to have addressed the majority of your points there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these, just a cursory look, these look to be satisfactory responses, so I'll take a double check soon and provide an update letter to Labella's comments.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't see any really obstacles here, so.
Al, do you have any comments?
No questions.
How about you, Scott?
I guess a couple of questions I have. Is this a site plan and a subdivision? It's not just a subdividing property, but they're also showing proposed residence with proposed contours and that sort of thing. So
Yeah,
we're being asked for site plan approval as well.
It's a little bit of both, as you know. So for example, sometimes we'll get a subdivision application and we won't have, sometimes the applicant won't put information in terms of where the potential driveway might be to check for site distances.
Right.
And in this instance, there isn't public sewers, so fortunately this time we do have a design plan for residents, exactly. So it is a subdivision plan that also includes features that we would want to see on a site plan as well.
But this is what they intend to build, right? This is-
That's my understanding.
Just for perspective.
Correct.
Correct. So, I guess a couple of questions that come to mind. Are site distances adequate for the driveway where it's proposed?
I did check site distances and they appear to be satisfactory. Yep.
Okay. And the two driveways are relatively close to one another, so I assume we would have to do a waiver.
That's a good catch.
Don't have that in there.
And I guess when I see a site plan, I usually see an engineer's stamp that goes along with it. Is that required?
Yes, that would be required on the site plan.
I understand that the surveyor did the subdivision plan. I normally see an engineer's stamp.
Yep.
So those are my comments.
Okay. You're spot on, Scott. Thank you.
So we can amend the resolution.
Yeah, potentially. Yep.
In the meantime, Ernie.
No, everything's been covered as far as I can tell.
Let's check that then, and see if we need to modify the resolution.
Yeah.
This is a public hearing. Does anybody from the public have observations, comments? Thank you. I'll take a motion then to close the public hearing.
I'll move.
Ernie?
Second.
Second by Al, all in favor?
Aye.
It's 4-0.
Thank you.
5-6. What's the posted speed limit on Fisher Road? Anybody know? Is it 35? I think it might be.
I think we should know that.
It's either that or 40.
You have to go
right?
really slow because
I can look it up. It'll take me a minute, but I can look it up. It's on, it's in the town code, actually. You want to,
Okay, so we're gonna pause this while he does the research, and we'll move on to the third item on the agenda for the Gardner Pole Barn. This is project 09-SP-2025 for property at 7140 Lane Road. The owner is Mr. Sean Gardner. Applicant's requesting approval to amend the current building permit for a pole barn from 780 square feet to 1,140 square feet. Good evening.
Good evening. So the idea here is just to amend the current approved barn that's, it's 26 by 30, and in the picture there is the current barn that's next to it. It's set back about 8 feet to the north of that current barn, the masonry barn there. And there's already a footprint of the barn. The posts are in the ground and working on that. And the idea is just to add 12 feet to the north side of that. And that's where you can see the lean-to style roof off the side of it. The idea is to put a block foundation there due to the slope or the grade. And that'll just help prevent any kind of rot on any of the wood or any of the soil from leaning against any of the siding on the barn there. So there is a drainage trench that goes to a dry well. The dry well is about, I think it's about 750 gallons worth of water that it will hold. So the downspouts would connect from the eaves of the building to that. And then along the foundation on the north side, there would be a French drain that would also connect into that. And I did kind of hand draw in there what the idea is for the drainage. Going east to west is the existing drainage with the dry well. The dry well being on the east side of the property there. And then the French drain as well as the downspouts would connect into that trench and then drain into the dry well. That's pretty much what I got.
Your drawing shows the front is open. Are you going to have this enclosed all the way?
It would be enclosed, yeah.
With
So
roller type doors or?
yeah, probably overhead doors, 10 by 10, 3 10 by 10 overhead doors.
Are you going to have power in the barn?
Not currently, I don't have it set up for that.
Okay.
There's no power in the other barn. If there was, it would be a lot easier to put it
Sure.
in the new one, but there's not currently. So maybe in the future I would plan that, but not currently.
And the other barn, I think, is concrete block?
Yeah, it's like a masonry type stone,
Okay. And I didn't catch the separation between the two?
about 8 feet.
30 feet?
8 feet between the two barns.
Okay. Any questions, Al?
No questions.
Ernie?
Oh, nothing.
Scott?
I don't think I understood exactly what was happening with your drainage. You said the site drains from east to west, is that what you said?
So yeah, the current there's kind of
There should be a laser pointer there. I think that might help.
yeah. So there's kind of a swale here built up, and there is a drain that drains this way. I'm sorry, west to east on the property, and that there would be the dry well. So everything's going to kind of drain into that, just to keep any water buildup from back there.
Do you have any off-site drainage? I mean, I'm looking at an instrument survey, so I can't see what's around this property in terms of slopes or topography.
Susie has an aerial, if she goes back to the beginning one, right, no, one more, right there. I don't know if that helps you.
Yeah. So we got road frontage, and then it looks like we have the throughway behind us, is that what we have?
Yep.
So it doesn't look like we have a lot of off-site drainage coming onto us, as we've seen with some hillsides in past applications. So I think that's good. Are the soils dry and granular? Is that why you have a dry well? I presume the dry well is dry?
It's actually, so it's all clay, so it's kind of to help keep
A
some.
wet dry well.
Yes, so it does, it has kept the yard a lot drier. That yard gets quite wet, so. It was just kind of to keep water away from the house because it drains as the grade comes this way, it drains the water towards the house. So it's just kind of keep water away from it as the water would drain this way naturally because there's a grade that way.
So the water wants to go somewhere to the north, just north of up?
This is north, right? So the water naturally drains south towards the house.
Okay.
And that's to prevent it from draining. There is a grade away from the house, but that's right between the swale, between the back and the front yard.
So the water will come off of this structure, come into a wet dry well, and then at present you feel that it's going to handle whatever is produced by this structure, is that?
Yeah, I mean, we don't see a ton of water buildup in that dry well. If anything, it's more this time of year than any other time. By the time June comes around, the soil's like rock hard at that point, so.
And if it overflows, it flows to the south?
It flows, yeah, it flows this way towards the south.
Okay.
All right. Did you have anything on this, Wes? This is the.
Yeah, we did issue a comment letter just today, but I think you guys have talked about the details, the particulars that would be warranted for our concern, yeah.
Correct.
So we're all set.
And again, this is a public hearing, so does anybody have anything to say? My only comment is I drive by your property multiple times a day, and I've seen the work you did on the garage there, so I'm sure this is going to be
Yeah.
sort of an equivalent structure. so-
Yeah, pretty much, yep.
Very good.
Pretty much all myself doing it, so.
Very good. So I'll take a motion to close the public hearing. I'll move it. Scott? Second by Al. All in favor? Aye. That's 4-0. And we do have a resolution for the Gardner Pole Barn located at 7140 Lane Road. Today's date, application number 09 SP 2025. Whereas the planning board made the following findings of fact.
It's up to you.
All right.
There's nothing really,
And there are 6 findings of fact. Now therefore be resolved that the application of Sean Gardner, site plan entitled Gardner Pole Barn, received by the Planning Board March 10th, 2025, Planning Board application number 09 SP 2025 be approved with the following conditions. The conditions to be addressed prior to the chairman's signature on the site plan. First, that no final signatures will be given on plans until all legal and engineering fees have been paid per the fee reimbursement local law adopted November 25th, 1996. Second, that any exterior lighting be compliant to code and approved by the code enforcement officer. Third, that comments from the code enforcement officer dated March 31st, 2025 be addressed. And fourth, that comments from LaBelle Associates dated April 8th, 2025 be addressed. And the ongoing conditions, the first, that the site plan comply with Town of Victor design and construction standards for land development, including section 4. And second, that a building permit for the addition be obtained before the start of construction. And be it further resolved that the planning board secretary distribute the planning board's approval letter. Take a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Ernie's second. Al, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 4-0. You're approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Okay. Wes, how we doing? Do we need more time?
I think we could probably move forward with it. I can give you a little update on where we're at. So I did find out in the town code, Fisher Road is posted at 35 miles per hour. And Chapter 55, Access Management, 55-6, Paragraph D, would require 125 feet of access connection spacing between driveways. So the proposed site plan shows a connection of, the connection spacing being 95 feet, so it would be 30 feet short of what the town code requires of 125 feet. So if the planning board were to offer or consider providing a waiver, it would be for waiving about 35 feet of that connection spacing standard, or 30 feet, I'm sorry. 125 feet is the requirement. So I do have a draft whereas here, and just trying to polish up the, therefore be it resolved, if that's something that you want to move forward with.
I mean, we've done this before, when the site distances are acceptable for single-family residential. So I think that's reasonable, unless there's some other traffic-related issue that we don't know about. I would just add a couple other minor things that I noticed as I was staring at the drawing a little longer. It's Fisher's Road, right? Ness. So we need to check the spelling on a couple of the lines. It's Fisher Road, and there's Fisher's Road.
It's Fisher's on the resolution, so we're good. but the
One end of the
drawings are
street
ready.
says Fisher's, the other end says
And,
Fisher.
and in addition to the PE stamp on the site plan, I think they need, I'm pretty sure they're gonna do this, but we need an LS stamp on the subdivision and confirmation of filing at the Ontario County Clerk's Office. Receipt of all signatures.
Yeah. Those are very good comments, thanks.
Yep.
So, we're good to go with a resolution that's going to be modified.
Yep.
You want me to start the resolution and you pipe up at what
Yeah.
point are you going to jump?
Yeah, I think I'm going to jump in at number 11.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so this is the resolution for Bell Minor subdivision at 364 Fishers Road. Today's date, application number 03-MS-2025. The first 7 seem to be standard. I'm going to, number 8, the Conservation Board did review the unlisted action on the 1st of April this year and provided comments. LaBelle Associates, number 9, reviewed the minor subdivision in a letter April 3rd, 2025, and provided comments. And then put that pursuant to section 2712 of the Town Code, a recreation fee for each lot, or in the event of a multiple dwelling, a recreation for each family unit in lieu of parkland shall be paid to the town before issuance of a permit. Then we're going to add number 11 to deal with the variance.
Yeah, so it's going to read, whereas section 55-6, paragraph D of the Victor Town Code requires access spacing of 125 feet on Fisher Road, as Fisher Road is posted at 35 miles per hour, and the proposed site plan depicts a separation distance of approximately 95 feet from the nearest driveway, a difference of 30 feet. Now therefore be it resolved that the planning board hereby waives the 125-foot separation distance requirement to allow for 95 feet as shown on the site plan. Well, actually, let's hold off on now therefore be it resolved. I guess after my whereas, we'll go on to that other whereas down here.
Okay.
On a Victor Planning Board reviewed the unlisted action on April 3rd, identified no significant impacts. Now therefore be it resolved that the planning board waives the 125-foot separation distance requirement to allow for 95 feet of separation distance. And be it further resolved that the project Bell Minor subdivision will not have a significant impact on the environment and that a neg deck be prepared. And I'll pick it up from there.
So you got all that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Be it further resolved that the application of Rochester and Jenna Bell Minor Subdivision entitled Bell Minor Subdivision, drawn by Greenland Surveying, dated March 4th, 2025, received by the Planning Board March 6th, 25, Planning Board application number 03-MS-2025 be approved with the following conditions. The first 1, 2, 3 are standard. Number 4, that the comments from Code Enforcement Officer dated March 31st, 25 be addressed. 5th, that the comments in a letter dated April 3rd, 2025 from LaBelle Associates be addressed. 6th, a Town of Victor building permit be obtained before start of construction on the single-family home, and that a Town of Victor highway permit be obtained.
I think for number 6 and 7, we could maybe move those to ongoing below, rather than before, rather than requiring number 6 and 7 before signing of the Mylars.
Okay.
Or
Sounds good to me. We'll make them 4 and 5.
yeah.
Thank you.
And then I think, per Scott's suggestion, we add in some of those conditions prior to the chairman signing the Mylar, the minor subdivision plan and/or site plan, that the site plan be stamped by a licensed PE, and that a licensed land surveyor sign and stamp the subdivision drawing.
So those would be the new 6 and 7.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
You got it. Scott, was there another one?
Just check Fisher's versus Fisher Road, that's
Yep.
all.
Okay.
Appears in various ways.
Okay. So conditions that are ongoing, standard conditions that must be adhered to. First, that the minor subdivision comply with Town of Victor design and construction standards for land development, including section 4. Second is standard. Third, that any underground water conditions be encountered during construction, the developer is to address the encroachment and impact to the underground stream to the satisfaction of the town engineer. And then we've relocated 6 and 7 to become the new 4 and 5. And be it further resolved that the planning board secretary distribute the planning board's approval letter. Take a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Ernie?
Second.
Scott, second. All in favor?
Aye.
That's 4-0. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job. Thanks, Wes. You bet. Okay, the next item on our agenda is EV chargers at High Point, application 10-SP-2025, for property located at 207 High Point Drive. The owner is High Point 100 LLC. Applicants requesting approval to install 7 dual-port electric vehicle charging stations to accommodate 14 cars. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is John Marcotte. I'm here on behalf of ChargeSmart EV. I do have some response letters for the Labella comments and the comment we received from, I think it's Tom Sterone, maybe the code officer.
Okay.
These were not able to be submitted. I just kind of found out we were out this morning. So if it's all right, I have copies for each of you.
Thank you.
And then also,
Those down there.
this just gives context to question 8 on Labella's comment. It just kind of shows how our bollards look in front of the station, so
Very
I
good.
think that should be everything we need for that.
But if you would give us an overview. what-
Yes, sir, yep. So yeah, the project is at High Point, 207 High Point Drive. We're contracting it out to Dynamark Electric, but yes, as you said, 7 dual-port EV stations. We're gonna power that off a 400 amp panel, which will get power from that, from the existing MDP in the building. I guess to speak to some of the comments, I don't know if you guys would want me to speak to Labella's comments, or if you had questions that you wanted to ask directly, I'm happy to go through that sheet I handed out if you'd like.
Let's start with questions, and then
Okay.
we'll go to that. That way Wes can be involved, or get caught up a little. So Ernie, you got anything?
I'm just reading over this thing we were just handed. Looks like it answers the questions.
Yeah, I thought it might be helpful to just type that. I typed it up this afternoon, I thought I'd just provide it. I think, the big one I wanted to talk about is under engineering review, specifically question 5, which asks about accessibility. To answer the comment from Labella, it is not currently accessible, so what we're proposing is to flip the one ADA, I think there's a point right here. So this station here, if you go to the 3rd page of the construction drawings, you can see,
Not all the drawings are on the,
they're not.
no, but there is the aerial.
Yeah, the aerial shot would be great. If you
Yeah.
go to that one just really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on the first page. So it's kind of hard to see, but these are all ADA spots on the opposite side of the work area. So just to make it, make more sense to flip the one ADA charger over to that other side where there's already an ADA ramp, I think it would disturb the parking lot, wouldn't involve pouring any new concrete or curb cutting or anything like that. So
When you say flipping it over, what does that involve?
moving the one ADA charger over to the other side.
A distance of
3 feet,
3
4
feet.
feet. There's just that patch of grass right in between there. But there's already an ADA ramp, so we wouldn't have to construct any new ramp or anything like that. We would get, customer approval on all that, and that would be reflected on our stamped drawings, which I realize the drawings were not stamped, they were submitted as prelims. So all of these comments that I made will be adjusted on the plan set, and we can resubmit for what I would assume would be another meeting similar to this. In regards to comment number 8, I saw you grab that bollard sheet. You can see the bollards are kind of set on the outside of the charging station. Question 9, what was that specifically? I believe it was just asking about how much light it emits, how intense it is, how long the screen will stay lit. Asking if there's sound that's emitted. There's no sound. The screens, are white during the day. They're dark at night. If no one's using them, they just idle. They're just kind of like an idle screen. So as a user taps them, then they would illuminate a little bit. But the brightness can be adjusted if that's required. And then the only comment from Tom Steroni, I did talk with him. We're just going to add the existing lighting that's in the parking lot onto the construction drawings. And he said he would be okay with that. I will take a pause. Is there any other questions that you want me to touch on from the engineering review or anything else about the project that I can?
I have a question. Shoot. I know for non-EV parking stalls, there's a state code that speaks to the number of handicap stalls you have to have, kind of on a percentage basis.
Mm-hmm.
Does such a regulation exist for EV parking spots as well, or?
Right, like how many, I think I don't know offhand. I know for the projects that we do, this one's a little bit bigger. Typically, we do 5 chargers. This one happens to be 7. But I know typically we'll provide 1 ADA stall with that. I don't know the specific requirement of how many, because I see what you're saying. Like in a parking lot, if you have 100 spots, you got to have 10 ADA spots or whatever that number is. I don't specifically know, but we went ahead and added 1 ADA spot to this stretch.
And I noticed that you did that, and I noticed on some of the ones we did previous to this that we didn't do that.
Yeah, I actually was curious. I mean, I didn't make that call specifically, but yeah, I know, like, we've done other projects where there haven't been, an ADA spot, but I think going forward for all other projects, we've just been trying to put one in there.
I'm not aware that there is a regulation out there, but I was curious to know if something had changed, that's all.
Yeah.
Wes, do you happen to know?
I do not know. I think it's a fantastic question, and I'm going to have to look it up.
Well, knowing the state in which we live, there's bound to be a regulation coming soon,
Yeah,
I suspect.
we're just trying to get ahead of it and just throw it in there because an ADA stall is always
Yeah.
good to see.
Well, that sparked my interest.
Yeah.
No pun intended. I think it looks fine.
Yeah, they're pretty straightforward projects. There's not a lot of you don't disturb a lot of ground. It's just a little bit of trenching, and this is really an ideal one where you're going off of the existing power there, which is the MVP. I won't get too much into that because I'm not an electrician, but that way we don't necessarily need to involve the utility as much. You don't need to get new poles placed or new transformers set or anything like that.
And it doesn't sound like this emits much light when it's not being used then.
It does not, no.
That's good.
And I noticed after talking with Tom, just around the border of that parking lot, there's these little light posts that are maybe 3 feet tall. I don't know what you call those.
Bollards.
Yeah, so we'll add those to the plan set because I think Tom wanted to see that. And then we'll add the overhead lighting that's currently in the lot on there, just so the plans are, as accurate as possible.
Where do the cables go when it's not in use?
They do have retracting systems in them, so they'll never be on the ground. It's I know that was a question on there. So once someone's done using them, it'll get kind of sucked right back into the top there. And yeah, they have like a cable management system built into them.
We had one someplace else that had cables going all over the place.
Yeah, some of these things do require maintenance over time, and they'll have to replace a part so the retractor works. But I do know for these units, they do have, all of our units that we install do have that retracting system.
That sounds good.
Yep.
No questions.
So, just sort of an arcane kind of a thing, the handicapped logo on the parking spot, I know on our buses now, New York State has mandated that we don't show the disabled person. It has to be the dynamic leaning forward kind of disabled thing, so.
Yeah, you have to have that.
I see the older one on the drawing, so
Gotta change it.
minor point, but
So
probably.
you want the
should-
new ADA symbol signage?
Yes,
Do
please.
it.
So Wes, I think over to you.
Yeah, so I did just look up, I used artificial intelligence here on my laptop, and I don't want to quote this specifically, but this might lead us down the path of answering that question that Scott had. And accessible parking spaces for EV charging. So at least what this says is at least one accessible EV charging space should be provided for every 25 EV charging spaces, or a minimum of one accessible space, whichever is greater. This space must be wide enough for people with disabilities to access the vehicle and charging station. Typically, these spaces should be at least 8 feet wide with an additional 5 feet of access aisle. So that's what AI says. Now, we'll have to verify.
Grabbing that from New York State?
I'm not sure. I'll have to maybe do a little more research to confirm this and find out exactly where this is coming from, but.
Well,
But I would share
if
that.
that's the case, at least 1 in 25 will.
Yeah, I think we meet that ratio then, so
Yeah.
we're good
Well,
there.
you're looking good.
Yep, okay.
Some other ones we approved aren't really looking that good.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, flipping it to that other side, that ADA spot, I think will just be like a way better plan, because there's already those existing aisles, so then we would
Sure.
place the station in the striped, in that striped aisle, so that the sidewalk is clear. So, yeah, we can reflect our plan set, you know, if you guys think that is also okay.
I think that's a good idea. So we'll need to see modified plans.
Yes,
then, correct?
yes, we will definitely revise the plan set to address all these comments, get them stamped. Obviously, I know they need to be stamped.
Sure.
So how does that work? Then, once I resubmit those materials, come back, do the same thing, get final approval per se? I'm just trying to,
Resolution then to reflect the change?
If you're gonna do a resolution tonight, or do you wanna carry them over to the next meeting?
That's a
I'm
good
okay to
call.
approve with those, kind of standard language. They have that addressed before final signature.
So someone will confirm those.
It is in the code comments for stamp plans. He did require that, so it is something that, it's in there.
And the
Have to
modification, the modified plans as well, do we need to add language that he's gonna change the plans for the disabled access?
Yeah, that's something that we can be sure gets applied to the plan prior to signature. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So I don't
So then you don't have to come back.
Resolution, we just need to make sure the plans reflect it?
Yeah. I guess maybe I would add a condition indicating that the planning board commentary from the meeting of April 8th be addressed, including the symbology for accessible parking spaces.
All right, so save that thought, that'll be done at 5 before the signature.
I write it down.
And this is a public hearing. Good evening.
are you Joe by chance?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Nobody.
Sorry.
Dave Nankin from 1174 Charleston. Curious, the charger that you plug into the car, is that for everybody? Is it adaptable to all?
It's adaptable to all EVs, yes.
It is?
Yes, it's like, how do I explain? It's like a universal plug, kind of.
Sure.
I think there was a time where, like, when Tesla first came out, like, there's specifically Tesla chargers.
Right.
These are like a universal plug, so if you have a, I don't know, a bunch of EVs.
Rivian or a Tesla, whatever.
Yeah, I don't actually have an EV, not yet. But yes, it is, it's adaptable to, I would say, most EVs.
Okay.
Yes,
It's a great question.
that is a good question.
Hopefully he has enough charge to get up the hill. Charge, but
So then I would need a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move.
Al moves.
Second.
Second by Ernie, all in favor?
I,
4-0. All right then, I'm gonna get started on the resolution. This is for EV chargers at High Point, today's date, property located at 207 High Point Drive, application number 10-SP 2024, whereas the board made the following findings of fact, and there are 7 of them. Whereas the Town of Victor Planning Board reviewed the unlisted action on 6 April 2025 and identified no significant impacts, now therefore it be resolved that the project, EV chargers at High Point, will not have a significant impact on the environment, that a negative declaration be prepared. Now therefore be resolved that the application from Charge Smart EV, entitled EV Chargers at High Point, drawn by Colliers Engineering and Design, dated March 12th, 2025, received by the Planning Board March 18th, 2025, Planning Board application number 10-SP 2024, be approved with the following conditions. The first is standard. The second, that any exterior lighting be compliant to code and approved by code enforcement officer. Third, that the comments on a letter dated 4 April 2025 from LaBelle Associates be addressed. 4, that comments from the code enforcement officer dated March 31st, 2025 be addressed. And 5,
That comments of the planning board expressed at the April 8th, 2025 meeting, including symbology for accessible parking spaces, be addressed.
as well as the change in location of the charging station.
Yes, there you go.
Okay. That works. So that's number 5. And then the ongoing conditions, 1, that the site plan comply with Town of Victor design and construction standards for land development, including section 4. And number 2, that a building permit be obtained before the start of construction. And be it further resolved that the planning board secretary distribute the planning board's approval letter. Need a motion to approve?
I'll move.
It's Ernie's.
Second.
Scott second. All in favor?
Aye.
That's 4-0.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 additional items that have been removed until later meetings. And anybody have any further comments or observations?
Nope, you
Once
did
again,
a
I-
fine job this evening.
Well, thanks. I would like to plug the NYPF Lunch and Learn things. I've gotten 2 done so far. One was very interesting about bees.
Bees?
Bees. Who knew that there were 4,000 varieties of wild bees in the United States?
I didn't know that.
Nonetheless.
I want to know who counted them.
It's probably one of those grants that's been rescinded.
Probably.
Nonetheless, if you're not on the email from the NYPF about the oncoming sessions, I found it's the easiest way to get my training done. So I just want to stress that. It's worked well for me. Having said that, I'll entertain a motion to.
I'll move.
Al, couldn't wait.
Second.
Second. Scott, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Well done.
Yeah, I feel deer in the headlights with that last addition.